At his home outside Los Angeles, Richard Carpenter sits at his piano, surrounded by the 3 Grammys that mark a legendary career. But at 79, the music is secondary to a silence he has carried for decades, a silence heavier than any song he ever wrote. For the first time, Richard is breaking that silence to tell the true story of his sister, Karen Carpenter, a woman whose voice could soothe millions, but whose own life unraveled in a shadow of pain, neglect, and a desperate hunger for the one thing she could never truly grasp: approval. The story of the Carpenters began not with a duo, but with a prodigy. Born 4 years before Karen, Richard was the star of the family. By age 5, he was already composing music. Their mother, Agnes, saw Richard as her destiny, documenting every lesson and celebrating every achievement. Karen's experience was the polar opposite. While Richard was the Mozart of the house, Karen was dismissed as the child banging pots and pans in the kitchen. What Agnes saw as noise was actually Karen's natural instinct for rhythm. This imbalance created a deep, lasting wound in Karen's heart. In 1963, the family moved to Downey, California. The move wasn't for the family, it was for Richard's career. At 13, Karen felt invisible and awkward, struggling to fit into her new life while her mother's letters to relatives rarely even mentioned her name. Karen's life changed the day she sat behind a drum kit in high school. She didn't just play the drums, she felt them. Within weeks, she was tackling complex pieces that took others months to master. Yet, even as her talent blossomed, the family's investment remained solely in Richard. It was Richard who eventually recognized the hidden power in his sister. In 1966, they formed the Richard Carpenter Trio and won the Hollywood Bowl Battle of the Bands. But the real shift happened during a quiet moment when Karen casually sang, "I'll Be Seeing You." Richard realized then that the key to their future wasn't just her rhythm, it was her voice. By 1970, the Carpenters were superstars. "They Long to Be Close to You" and "We've Only Just Begun" made them household names. But as their fame grew, Karen's identity was slowly stripped away. Management pushed her out from behind her drums, the only place she felt safe, and forced her to the front of the stage. She felt exposed and uneasy. Meanwhile, the family dynamic remained toxic. Even as Karen became the voice of a generation, Agnes continued to publicly credit Richard's brilliance while minimizing Karen's role. By the mid-70s, the world began to notice something was wrong. On stage, Karen's extreme thinness drew gasps from the audience. In 1975, weighing only 91 pounds, she was too weak to finish her European tour. While the public speculated about cancer, the truth was anorexia nervosa, a condition poorly understood at the time. Karen was trapped in a cycle of seeking control in a life where she felt she had none. In 1979, Karen tried to claim her independence by recording a solo album in New York. She felt alive, sexy, and confident. But when she played it for Richard and the label, they crushed her. The album was shelved, and Karen was billed $400,000 for the production costs. Her dream of a separate identity was dead. Desperate for love, Karen rushed into a marriage with Thomas Burris in 1980. It was a disaster. Burris was financially unstable and emotionally abusive, mocking her body and her illness. By 1982, Karen reached a critical state, weighing just 77 pounds. She sought treatment in New York and began to show signs of recovery, gaining weight and finding a glimmer of her old spirit. But the damage to her heart from years of starvation and medication abuse was already done. On the morning of February 4, 1983, while preparing to sign her divorce papers, Karen collapsed. At just 32 years old, the voice that defined an era fell silent. Richard has spent the years since her death preserving her legacy, finally releasing her solo album in 1996 and ensuring the world remembers Karen not just as a victim, but as the incredible artist she was. Karen Carpenter's music continues to touch millions, but the truth of her life remains a haunting reminder of the person behind the prestige buzz sound: a sister, a drummer, and a woman who just wanted to be heard. If you found this story moving, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit the bell notification so you never miss a deep dive into the lives of your favorite icons.